Welcome to Search Talk Live with search engine optimization and marketing experts Robert O'Haver and Caleb McKelvin, powered by the Robert Palmer family of companies.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Search Talk Live. I'm your host, Robert O'Haver, along with Caleb McKelvin. Caleb, how's it going?
What's going on, man?
Not much.
Going good. Survived the hurricane.
Yeah.
Things are crazy. Hope everybody is all right out there who were affected by it. Of course, we had some power outages and stuff like that, but we're here.
Yep.
We're back.
Yep.
Ready
Glad
for a
it's
show.
over. It did put us behind, though.
Yeah, put us behind a little bit.
Yeah. Those of you tuning in for the first time to Search Talk Live, we are a digital marketing podcast. We talk about everything from digital marketing, from search engine optimization, social media, content marketing, paid advertising. We cover it, you name it.
Yeah.
Or you name it, you cover it. Anyway, so those of you that want to ask questions during the show, now's a great time to get on Twitter. You can do hashtag Search Talk Live. We are monitoring that live, or you can email us at Robert or Caleb at Search Talk Live. It's not, either or not.
Right.
But, so today we're going to talk about how we can better improve our market share in the SERPs, which a lot of people would like to know, I think, don't you?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think being more visible in the SERPs is what it's all about.
Yeah. And also, if it's your first time tuning in, you can go to searchtalklive.com and get past episodes of the show. You can sign up for our newsletter. We give all the information, special offers, and everything that guests give us on the show, which is great. It's a good thing I think you should sign up for it. But, and what else? Am I missing something?
Yeah, no. Please go check us out on Spreaker. Download us on iTunes. I mean, we're all over the place. Of course, we're on iHeartRadio. But if you miss any part of today's show, if you have to leave us early or anything like that, you can go to Search Talk Live. Check us out. Listen to today's show because we got a good one for you.
Yeah. Today our guest is the CEO of Directive Consulting, and his name is Garrett Mehrguth. Garrett, how's it going?
It's going well, guys. It's going well. Thanks for having me today.
Yeah, man. Glad to have you.
Absolutely.
So you ready to talk some geek?
Oh, I'm ready.
Well, Garrett, just kind of kick things off. If you could kind of introduce yourself to our listeners, kind of what you do, a little bit of your background and what you're all about.
Yeah. So I run a digital agency. We do mostly SEO and PPC, and content as well. The name of the company is Directive Consulting. I got into this almost 3 years ago now. Someone asked me to rank a website, and I was like, I don't really know how to do that, but I could probably figure out how. And so played around a little bit, read everything on Moz, read everything that had really been out there in the past, and I said, okay, if this is what it's going to take, then I could probably figure this out. And so, I built a website, learned some WordPress, and next thing you know, I was ranking. And so I figured, heck, I could probably do that for some other people. And next thing you know, we've got 15 employees. We get to do some amazing work for some top, Fortune 500 brands, and it's been a blast. Yeah.
Awesome.
Very nice. I like it.
What do you guys specialize in?
Really, I think we specialize in what we're kind of talking about today. It's the idea of taking market share and understanding. Frankly, what we really do is most of our clients sell some type of product or service, and their clients go online to buy it. And we just ask enough questions to learn how they buy it and then know enough about what we kind of offer in SEO, PPC, and content to say, how do we take more market share? So how do we show up throughout that buyer's journey? And if we can, you can't make someone search something more often. And so I think sometimes we focus on the wrong things and we kind of can silo ourselves. I only do SEO, or I only do PPC, or I only do content. And then you're really just limiting the ability to increase either leads or sales because you're only doing one part of the buyer's journey. And so from everything from social to content to pay-per-click to SEO, anytime the user is touching an advertisable opportunity, let's make sure we have some tracking set up, and then let's make sure we can control the message and hopefully convert that user.
Yeah. Now, there's one word or term I want to focus on that you touched on a couple of times, and it's something from a content marketing perspective. When I'm performing certain strategies, I have to understand, and that is the buyer's journey. And for some of our listeners who kind of, own their own small business, who are trying to, are listening are like, okay, the buyer's journey, it sounds simple, but could you kind of explain what that is and kind of what are the components of that and why is that so important?
Yeah, I think the buyer's journey is really okay. Let's just use a live example. Let's say you're a coffee shop, okay? So you're a coffee shop, and I'm from Orange County. So you're a coffee shop in Southern California or a coffee shop in Orange County. So your goal is to get people into your coffee shop. Now, there's multiple ways that people find out about a new coffee shop. There's word of mouth, which is traditional, right? We want to have a great brand, so if someone does come there, they're going to tell other people. But then there's also going online. And when they go online, they either do two things usually. They're going to go directly into Yelp search engine, so it's directly into an application from their phone, or they're going to go on the internet, aka Google. What we want to do, the way I look at it is because we are a Moz local recommended company, and part of, I think, doing that is understanding, okay, on Yelp, how do we take more market share on Yelp just as much as Google? And it's not like siloing yourself, because the buyer journey is not only on Google, but it's also on Yelp. So on Yelp, for example, you can take out Google display ads. People don't realize that. So you can not only do Yelp ads, but also Google display ads. So that's one tactic. And then, or you can go online and you'll look. If you do actually the query Orange County coffee shops into Google, you're going to notice that I think the first 7 results are all local city bloggers. So if you're in the food industry, there's all sorts of local magazines that are creating listicle type content. It's going to be really important that you reach out to those authors at those local magazines or on those local blogs and make sure that you're included in those lists. And then even reach out to those authors that, give them a free cup of coffee, offer them a free bagel, whatever it is, to come and tour your shop and interview. And so everything we're talking about here is understanding how do people find out about whatever you offer, and then how do you make sure that you're part of every one of those discussions. So if those magazines have display ads, can you take out display ads on those sites? Can you be a part of their list? Can you get them to do a feature? Can you get into their print? How do you take more market share along this buyer's journey? And it's not just SEO and it's not just PPC. It's the whole thing. It's the map results. It's the search ads. Mm-hmm. It's Yelp. It's SEO. It's local blogs. It's the bigger picture. When you do that well, you win.
Absolutely. I mean, you're covering all bases.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I thought you wanted to add more. Sorry. Kayla's looking at me like, oh, okay. So, I mean, what would from a holistic view, where would you start? I mean, like,
yeah, I would start with what's at the top. So the way I would view it is, I would just ask maybe some of your customers. So same thing would go. Say you're an electrical engineering company. I would go to my top 5 customers and figure out how they found out about me. Figure out what they searched, how the process went, how they heard about me. It sounds so basic, but I would bet that most of the listeners, including myself, we don't spend enough time talking to our current clientele and understanding what happened in their buyer journey to then optimize for the next person. And so I think where you would start is understanding, okay, what keywords did they search? And then how do I take more market share? So search ads are at the top. So I think search ads are a must. So launching a pay-per-click campaign. And then if you're a local business, the map results, there's 4 map results or 3 map results below that. And then below that, usually actually Yelp ranks organically. So if I'm a local business, I'm going to start on Yelp to make sure that I can get my reviews and my reputation solid. I'm going to make sure I can get my Google My Business reviews solid. And then I'm going to launch ads on Yelp. And while I'm doing that, I'll be creating content, reaching out to bloggers, working on ranking my site. But I think the problem is oftentimes as we wait for SEO, we don't supplement it with enough other lead gen opportunities. So I think search ads and Yelp all can offset the time it'll take for the SEO to build, because SEO has a much lower cost per acquisition, right, allowing profit margin to grow. So in the future, you won't be paying for that initial click, and so your margin can increase instead of daily decreasing as a new competitor enters because of the auction and things like that on pay-per-click, where the cost per click actually goes up over time.
Sure. And would you recommend using, obviously it depends on where your customer is, or client, whatever you want to call them, starting out with maybe doing some Facebook as well, or some.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think on the Facebook, so we're playing around with some different strategies, and it's interesting. I would say to do Facebook ads really well, mm-hmm, it's helpful to have a way to monetize it on the back end. So what I mean by that is we've been testing promoting ungated content versus promoting gated content. And I just find myself so much more willing to promote gated content. So let's say you offer a service. Promoting gated content at least allows you to get an email and or a phone number and what I would call a pretty warm lead, compared to if you just promote a blog post, just to promote a blog post, which does raise brand awareness. It's just really hard to do that consistently because there's no direct monetization model tied into it.
Yeah. And Garrett, for the listeners, can you explain what gated means?
Yeah, gated means that you're kind of, the way I do gated, or at least I think it should be done, is you would have a fixed audience on Facebook, and you would have an offer, great ad, great creative, great copy, sending them to a dedicated landing page, which is designed. We like to use Unbounce. I think it's a great product. And so you'd send someone from a Facebook ad to a dedicated landing page that matched what they clicked on with an offer. So get 55 plus link building tips today. To access these, please enter your name, email, phone number, company URL, whatever that is. And then you would hit get the guide. Then you would get, from there you get the guide. So in other words, you get 55 plus tips. We get your email. It's a transaction almost. And then you can monetize that because you can say, okay, if we get 10 emails, we get one new client. And now all of a sudden you have a monetization model for Facebook ads, which helps to be consistent.
Yeah, and I think that's huge and important. A lot of people neglect to do is getting some kind of mailing list going, because as that list builds, those are people you can market to daily, weekly,
right,
whatever the frequency is. But it's so important to build that list regardless of what your site is.
No, I completely agree on that. I think that's a really crucial part of it.
Yeah. Well, I think kind of one thing people are like, okay, I can run a Facebook ad, but what should I be offering? Should I be offering something to download? Should I be offering a discount? Like what should you like? How should you base what you're going to offer? Should you do some data on what they're looking for? Or does it matter with that buyer's journey, or what your goal is? Is it brand awareness? Are you actually trying to create conversions? What's that landing page or what's that offer going to look like?
Killer question, Caleb. So here's the way I've been looking at it. And here's something I'm testing. I haven't been able to launch yet. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to understand, it's like gauging their temperature, okay? So someone on search ads on Google is you can know what they're searching and you can have an idea of what they're ready to buy. Meaning someone can say like best couches. And then it makes sense because someone's looking to buy a couch. That's a very buyer-related query. On Facebook, you're not competing with other businesses. And I want to make that really clear because I think people forget that, is they think they're competing with other businesses. The reality is they're competing with your grandmother's cat. No, seriously, like you are, because that's what's on Facebook. Like you're competing with that cute new baby and that puppy and all these other things. You're not competing with other businesses. And so I think it's important to be very value first and very giving. And so I would say a cool thing that we're testing, and I don't have data on yet, so I can't tell you guys exactly how it's working, but the idea is we're trying to do Facebook videos, so videos, really informative videos.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do this cheap. Like we bought a Rode mic. I think it was $99. We already had a video camera, or just a camera that does video. It's like a nice camera that does video. And then that was it. We bought some lights too, and I think a green screen. It all was under like $300 to $500 for good equipment.
Yeah.
And then what we're doing is we're doing these kind of 30-second Facebook videos, and then we're doing them as very just offer, totally like low-key, no even call to action, just like watch this video to learn about this tactic, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then what we're doing is we're launching a hard call to action or even a micro call to action. We're testing both on a retargeting list of anyone who watched at least 25% of the video. So what we're doing is it's like what I call multi-step Facebook ads. So you get the lowest CPM possible by doing a video ad.
Yeah.
But then you're going to get your highest return by doing a direct response on the people who are already most interested at the lowest CPM. So it's kind of a fun way to do it, and I think anybody could execute that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, very interesting strategy.
Yeah, because I mean, I've seen a lot of fails where people put up iPads and stuff giveaways, and you're not getting quality leads. You're getting people that want the iPad.
Right.
They're just stuff like that. I mean, just got to be real careful. I mean, what's your opinion on that?
No, I completely agree. I mean, I haven't done anything like that, probably because I'm a little cheap right now.
Can't give away free stuff.
Yeah, I'm not giving away free stuff. I just give away free assessments. I don't give away iPads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I try to keep it with an assessment. So the thing we give away is we give away an assessment. And so I try to keep it value added for them. and make sure it also aligns with what my goals are. Same with our clients.
Yeah.
Well, that's different. Like, if you do it that way, because then it's something related to your product, your mesh.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, like for a client, one thing we worked right now on the landing pages that's been huge is like on the B2B software side, especially, just any software actually. We've been testing. So a lot of people like the standard call to action is schedule a demo. It's like almost universal, or download a white paper. For whatever reason, they choose those two things for all B2B software. And we have a lot of clientele there. And so we've been testing a lot of stuff. And we published this on CrazyEgg actually, and it was a cool test. We turned the video, instead of scheduling a demo, we said download a 5-minute demo video to watch at your convenience. And so instead, because nobody here likes demos. Like honestly, if you took a poll, if people are like, how many people want to go schedule back and forth, get a sales rep on the line who doesn't know what they're talking about, to then get another sales rep who doesn't quite answer your questions till 3 calls later, and you just want to play around with it? Two options. You either just want to play around and figure it out yourself, or you want to watch a video that can kind of let you know what's going to happen, but you can watch on your own. So we actually found that we went from 1% to 15% on conversion rates on the exact same landing page.
Wow.
Without a huge decrease in lead quality. So for that massive spike, I think it's over 700% increase in conversion rate. We only saw like a 5% decrease in lead quality. And so because that's tied in, because a lot of the B2B software, which is cool, is they all have Pardot, Marketo, and things like that. And so you can get really great like end-to-end attribution. And it was totally worth it. So, I mean, in my opinion, the key is to understand what your user actually wants and then align yourself with them. I mean, I've been preaching this and I'm passionate about this, is delight. Like, how do you create a more delightful experience than your competitors? Because people have options. And if it's your product, frankly, isn't as good as you think it is. Like, my service is not as good as I think it is, and your product isn't as good as you think it is. And whoever, like, it just never is. There's other people out there. There's really talented people. I think you just have to focus on delight and customer service, and I think that separates.
Yeah, I think it's also important too, like when you're marketing on social media, is that you're not in your face like, buy now, get this. You know, it's more passive type of selling. You know, like you're talking about ebooks and stuff, like, hey, here's some information.
Yeah,
you know, more
educational tone and value.
I still
and then if they click there, you can hit them with a second ad in an audience that says, well, buy now, buy now, buy now, on the someone who's already downloaded your ebook. Now it makes sense. Like, they've moved.
Yeah, I think that's where a lot of people kind of fall short, is they miss that part of it, to where there's no brand awareness. They don't know who you are or what you're offering or what quality you provide, and you're already trying to force it in their face that they need to use your services or buy your product. You're totally skipping, introducing who you are and providing any type of value before actually being like, okay, here's why you need us, or here's why you need to purchase this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, I think it'd be something cool to test, is ungating it entirely, just free download. Like, if they click on the ad, they go there, the free download, and then anybody who downloads, that person gets a hard ad. And I think you can start to really have some success. And I think it's just social fails because people don't take enough time to build the campaigns, and I'm guilty of it too. I've ran so many crap Facebook campaigns for myself over the last 2 years because I'm like, oh, I got an hour or two here. Let me put this together. And then I launch it, and I wonder why I got a $20 CPM, and I just didn't give it enough time. And I think that's the key.
Yeah, I mean, like Facebook, and I say this a lot, but you can get some really low CPCs.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Heck yeah. No, you can kill it. You just got to take the time to actually do it right and have multiple steps and multiple pieces of amazing creative and great offers. And I mean, it should be a built-out like strategy of small ass. So like at first, I'm not even get their name, not even their number, just their email. Then if they give me their email, I'm going to go with a hard offer. And I think you just have to treat it as stages, and you can be incredibly successful.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You just got to plan it out. It's all about planning.
Exactly. Just give it a couple weeks and really through.
Yeah. All right, if you're just tuning in, of course, you're listening to Search Talk Live with host Mr. Robert O'Haver and myself, Caleb McKelvin. We appreciate you joining us today. Give a shout-out to our sponsor. We have the Robert Palmer family of companies. You can go to robertpalmercompanies.com, check out everything they have to offer. A lot of cool stuff, from mortgages to personal financial advice to a bunch of other stuff. A lot of great things over at robertpalmercompanies.com. Thank you for joining us today. You can go to searchtalklive.com. Of course, been an awesome show so far. If you missed the first half or have to leave in the middle of the show, you can go to searchtalklive.com after the show, and we'll spit it out to you, and you can catch everything that we talked about today. We are joined by our special guest today, Garrett. I hope I pronounced this right. Mehrguth.
You're close. You're very
close. It's a tongue twister.
Finally, it's you that messes up.
Yeah, no. It's an absolute tongue twister. I'm right again. Yeah. Yes, of Directive Consulting. We appreciate you joining us today. And if you want to get your questions in, please do so. You can go on Twitter, use hashtag SearchTalkLive, and we'll get your questions in for the show.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to mention at the beginning of the show, and I totally forgot. Today, PubCon is going on for the next couple of days, and a lot of our good friends and people that have been on the show are up there. I just wanted to give a shout out. PubCon is in Las Vegas this year. Next year, it's going to be in Florida, which
what's up?
We'll be there.
Yes,
or I'll be there anyway.
Yeah,
but yeah. So let's get back to the topic. I'm sorry.
All right. Now, one thing, Garrett, I'm actually. I've seen some of your work. I know you write a lot, and you've been published on Moz and a bunch of stuff, and a lot of great stuff. So I kind of want to talk a little bit about content and how that plays a role into your marketing strategy and increasing, your rankings and helping your website, increasing your visualization and throughout your customers. How have you seen that make an impact not only in your own business but maybe some of your clients as well?
Yeah, I mean, I'll start with what I'm doing on my stuff right now, just that's where my focus has been for the last couple of weeks. I kind of, as we've been able to, fortunately, God bless us, grow a little bit, I got to get out of a little bit of the operations and get to do some of our own stuff. And so that's been really fun for me because then I get to do what I'm really passionate about for myself, which is kind of fun. Well, to be frank, I just turned 25. And so thought leadership, I knew would be crucial for anyone to ever give me any kind of actual real money. I mean, that's just, I don't got gray hair. I don't have some crazy experience. I don't come from some big agency. Like, I'm literally just a guy who learned how to rank a site and did another and said, hey, so we can trust us. We're honest men and women and we want to do a great job. And people somehow said, sure. And so, the key's been obviously doing that and building case studies, but to get our name out there, thought leadership was a big part. And I think the tactic I'm so passionate about right now is I think to grow your search engine rankings in 2016, especially even 2017 and growing, you can't just create content. You can't just promote content. You need to have a strategy built around keywords. And when I say keywords, it's a strategy built around putting yourself in your buyer's journey. And then you need to be able to build links to those pages. I do not have a brand that naturally earns links. For example, Moz publishes something. They have a large enough readership and a large enough authority that people then naturally link back to that post when they're writing on the topic. I don't have that liberty, and 99.9% of the listeners on this show do not as well.
Right.
So what we had to do to earn our rankings, and by the way, we have broken in the top 5 for some pretty competitive keywords in our industry with this approach, was create really awesome content for our industry on the largest sites. And I know it sounds crazy, but it's really not it's not rocket science. We simply would reach out to Moz, reach out to Ahrefs, Kissmetrics, CrazyEgg, Whitespark, you name it. Anybody who's got a really great audience and say, either I knew them from a conference. The other thing was going to the conferences and building relationships. So I wasn't just pitching people cold from the start. Like, I'd shook in their hand, looked them in the eye, and they could see that I was hungry and that I was willing to put in the effort to do it right. And we got one break. Somebody put us in a Moz local newsletter once because I accidentally called Miriam Ellis, who somehow runs Moz Local's newsletter, and I told her about this piece I did on my blog, and they featured it. I took a screenshot and I pitched somebody else saying I was featured in Moz Local's newsletter, and they said we'd love the post, and I pitched another person with that pitch, and next thing you know, we're getting to write for everyone. So it's not – this stuff is just a little bit of a hustle, but when you do it, you can do a couple things.
You did all that by accident, huh?
Man, I'd love to fall into that.
Right?
So, and I mean, the reality is that what you can do is if you have those opportunity to post and you build those relationships, and most companies do have an executive in them who has two things. He has great relationships and doesn't like to write. So I find this universally. Like all the companies we consult with, I tell them, okay, who's your top executive? What type of relationships does he have? Is he willing to write? And every time it's a no.
Yep.
So you got to get executive buy-in.
Or they say yes and then they just don't do it.
And I'm the CEO, and my greatest marketing responsibilities are PR. And if you look at, let's say, guys like Larry Kim, what does he do? He does PR for WordStream. What does Rand do? PR for Moz. Yeah. What does Will Reynolds do? PR for Seer. All these guys universally have one role, and they're killing it. Yeah. And their companies are growing. And I think getting an executive buy-in is the key here, because when you do that, you build your domain authority, you build your PR, you build your brand's reputation, you build all these things, and it creates an opportunity for you to actually make cash, make some money. And when you blog, let's say you do something for Moz, and you talk about PPC pay-per-click, you can literally control, you can link back in the anchor text with PPC to your PPC service page. Who will ever link to your service page? No one in any industry. And the problem is that's your money page. That's the one you need to rank because that's the one that has the best information on your own services. Yet it's almost impossible to get to rank because nobody will naturally link to a service page. And so for anybody out there who offers professional services, the key to growing is controlling the anchor text and controlling the destination URL to going to your pages. So we have 4 pages on our site that are most important: SEO, PPC, content, social. And then I need to make sure I link to those pages from my guest posts with the right anchor text. And that might sound lame, but that's literally the whole strategy. And it works.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, I think it does work. And the crazy thing is we kind of hear that that's something that's not going to work. You write for other sites. It's not that great. It doesn't have much weight. When I think it actually does, not only from an SEO standpoint, from an authority standpoint, because having your brand, having your voice, being on these high authoritative websites, I mean, it's just a vote of confidence that you know you are who you are, you know what you're talking about, and you can do what you say you can do, and it's big time. So, I mean, from a linking standpoint, I think it's huge. And even if it's somebody, say, because I've written for some, they're like, okay, well, we're not necessarily, we won't provide a link, but you know, we'll still have that brand in there. If I can still have my brand in there, that's also a good thing. Of course, you want the link, but you're getting that vote of confidence, which is huge for your company.
Oh, you're completely right. At the end of the day, think about it. Your client, your customer has options. Like I was saying before, it's all about delight. It's all about a vote of confidence, all about trust. Yeah. So if I can go in and say, here's the latest 20 pieces I wrote for every blog that you read every day, and you can hear what I actually think, and you're going to know what you're going to buy. Now, if the competitor can't say that, I just have something up on him.
Right.
And that's it. And the same thing goes with other industries. Like, let's say you do a manufacturing execution systems. Like, we actually have clientele who do that kind of stuff. And there's just as many paid lists and review sites. And I think that's kind of what I want to talk about with the SERP market share and kind of use that as an example, is a lot of these sites, they aren't looking beyond their website at the opportunities that exist. For example, if you're in B2B software, Capterra, Software Advice, G2 Crowd, Trustpilot, all of these sites actually rank incredibly well for your primary keywords if you look at the organic results. And this idea of what I call paying for SEO. So essentially, those sites all have social proof directly correlated to them, meaning that they are review sites that show real customers' feedback on you. And it's incredibly important that you have an amazing presence on there. It's like Yelp for B2B. And so simply you pay usually a cost per click or a monthly fee. Capterra's cost per click, depends on the different ones. But then now you're ranking number one, and then you're number one on the list for the number one organic result. And when you have that now, whether it's right or wrong, customers who go there view you as the best company. And we have found that third-party review sites and paid lists outperform every channel, hands down, regardless of industry, every time.
Yeah. Wow.
And it's just sitting there. It's just sitting there.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, and I just want your opinion on this because I know how I feel. But, you know, when you hear Google say, oh, don't guest blog, you're going to get a penalty. What are your thoughts on that?
I didn't even know they're saying that, man.
I'm in trouble.
Well,
no, it hasn't been recent.
So what they're saying is
back when Matt Cutts was
around.
around.
We hear it all the time is, you know, writing for other sites is something that doesn't carry weight, or they don't really take it into consideration, or those kind of links don't matter. Which I mean, I guess it's wrong for me to heavily disagree with the Google gods, I guess you could say. But I think it's very important for your website, and it's a great way to earn links, whether you can get that anchor text that you would want to go for, or even a branded anchor text. Yeah. Either way, it's important. It's a valuable link that's actually going to drive traffic to your website as well.
Yeah, I never even knew that, man. So I'll tell you right now.
Well, this was a video that Matt did when he was, this is over 2 years ago almost now. But
okay.
Yeah, it's nothing new.
Yeah. They've been saying it for a while. Like, you hear, it seems like every month a new type of link building is dead. Like guest posting's dead. This is dead. This is dead. Yet they consistently say probably one of the top 2 ranking factors, most important ranking factors is links. So it's like, well, okay, so you want me to earn links. And like you said earlier, is that I can't write a post on a blog and 1,000 people are going to link to it like MozCon or these other websites. So how do you expect me to go out and earn these links? And guest posting is one of the ways that you're going to have to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it goes...
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, so, I mean, I think the key here, too, is I think everybody thought about link building so wrong and is still thinking about it so wrong.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, there's a couple things. There's 2 points to this. Number one, SEO is just PR. I don't know who confused the two, but it's PR, and I love it. I mean, it's just great marketing. So if you do great marketing, what I mean by that is if you have a fast website, you have great design, you have a good PR strategy, meaning that you're getting your name out there and people are talking about you and that they're sharing it and that you're relevant, then you rank. I don't know who else confused this whole thing.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, you need some technical SEO. I get it.
Yeah.
You need robot text and all these things. But, I mean, the second problem is they build links to domains, and I don't get this. And I fell for it for whole almost 2 years and didn't get any results, and it was so freaking frustrating. And what I mean by that is, okay, think about this. Like you do a scholarship link building campaign, stereotypical link building campaign. Mm-hmm. Where do they all link to? It's like they have this thing. They link to your scholarship page. Who the heck makes money on their scholarship? Yeah. And then there's this trickle down effect. That's what I mean by that. So there's this psychology in this process, which I completely disagree with, that if I build enough links to my domain, it trickles into my pages by doing great site architecture and internal linking. And that is BS. I call massive BS.
Yeah.
I could spend I could just write one guest post and get a couple links to one targeted page, and it would outrank the best scholarship program in the world within minutes.
Yeah.
So, I don't know who wrote this and how they convinced people. The problem is all of these link building campaigns they're not able to control the destination URL, or they're all going to the wrong destination URL.
Yeah.
So they're all a waste of time. Legit doesn't make any sense. And it's so frustrating because the whole industry seems completely confused on this. And I don't know how they got there. But if you build links to pages, you win. Yeah. Like pages that mean something.
Yeah.
Like you write a post on, let's say, SEO agency. Building links to your scholarship does not help your SEO agency inherently rank. They're not relevant, so I don't know what the hell Harvard has to do with your SEO agency, number one.
Right.
But it's a .edu.
Yeah, it's those .edu links.
I got a scholarship. I'm guilty of it. I have a scholarship that I paid a lot of money to try to promote, and it didn't do anything. And then I wrote 2 guest posts and linked to these pages, and it worked. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
What have I been doing?
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding.
And so, no, I mean, I'm guilty of it because I was reading all the content. The inputs control our outputs. We're all reading these inputs, and I think a lot of the inputs are just wrong.
Yeah. No, Garrett is dropping some truth here today on Search Talk Live.
A lot of misconceptions.
No, I love it because it's funny because if you're a listener out there and you've used SEO companies or any online marketing companies that kind of do this tactic, edu links, trust me, they look good. And if you get the right ones that is actually relevant to what you're trying to do and absolutely valuable content, it's awesome. But they run these type of campaigns where okay, we'll do the scholarship or something of that nature. And man, we got you 50 EDU links that do nothing for you whatsoever, absolutely. And so, it's so funny because I completely agree. The fact that SEO, online marketing, everything right now. It's PR. It's great marketing. Of course, you have to have your on-page stuff. You have to hit your checklist on certain things. Make sure all the back stuff is right. Your on-page stuff and everything is good. But if you are doing PR and marketing right, then you're right. You're going to rank. You're going to get your traffic, and you're going to hit your target audience, and the ROI is going to be there.
The other thing too, Garrett, is you're sticking to sites that have an editorial process. So you're not just going to some Joe Schmo's blog, right?
No, yeah. So, I mean, here's the way I'm doing it too right now, and I'll just give out the way I kind of do it. So the way I first started was I just asked myself, what sites do I read? Man, it'd be cool to be on there. Right. I mean, that's like same with speaking right now. Like I get to speak at State of Search, and last year I was in the crowd, and I was thinking, how cool would that be to be on stage with these guys? These are all my mentors. But then you just have to pitch them. And like for speaking, by the way, my number one tip, this is completely irrelated, video. So record your pitch as a video and then submit it as a video, breaking down exactly how long you're talking, what topics you're talking on, and go from there. I'm 25. I have literally no background. If they'll accept me, they'll accept you with some experience. You just have to put together the right pitch. Same thing with link building. I did give away the pitch, guys, and this isn't like a shameless plug, but I wrote a piece on how to post for your industry's, like how to guest blog for your industry. And it's actually a really cool post. I gave away all my secrets, my spreadsheet, everything. It's on there on our site.
Nice.
And that's not me trying to plug it. I think it actually would help people on here.
Then why don't you?
I have to say I read it earlier today actually, and it actually is a really good piece. I will say that if you want to learn how to do this or what kind of the steps in the process is, and actually how to approach it, I actually do recommend this piece. Very good stuff.
Yeah, we'll put a link.
Thanks.
We'll post a link to it.
No, that was not a shameless plug. That was legit. Like I think it might help people.
No, we understand.
A way to do it is a Pitchbox. So I'm not great with Pitchbox yet. I just did a free trial and I never signed up. I'll be honest. But what I did was, and I don't do the other spammy tactics. I get really nervous, like that someone's going to think that Garrett Mehrguth and Directive Consulting are spammers, and that's like the last thing I want to think because my industry is really easy to get seen that way. And so what I did was I kind of took topics that I wanted to write about. Or kind of like let's say marketing KPIs. So I just used a bunch of keywords like in Pitchbox, like marketing KPIs, PPC agency, SEO companies, things that I want to rank for.
Yeah.
And then what I did is I crawled it, right? And I got all the sites that have been talking about it. But then I just deleted them all. I exported just the domains.
Yeah.
And then so what we do, so you go on to the domain. This is how people, by the way, if you're listening, this is how you can find the authors for these places. So you get a list of domains, you add to Google Sheets. You do a little bit of formatting, so you can say need to contact, waiting, contact, like published, yes, no, have some options, right? And so you have like 600 sites. You can then filter by domain authority, and you go through, and simply what you do is you go on their blog, and then you find out who's either published the most. Usually there's one author who's published a lot. That's the person running the blog, guys. And so you simply use two things. I have a LinkedIn Sales Navigator account. I go on LinkedIn Sales Navigator, and I send them in mail with a template. And the template's actually on that post we talked about. Or I use Email Hunter, free tool, really cool. And I learned usually company has some type of cadence, like it's first initial, last name, first initial dot, last name.
Right.
And then I just message them. So I find out their title. So I find the company on LinkedIn, find the editor. I then try to get their email address from Email Hunter. I write a template, and I message them. And I try to do 20 every Monday. And then if I do 20, I usually have about a 25% success rate. Now that's 5 opportunities for this week and next, and I always have guest posting opportunities.
Wow. You got it down.
Man. I like it. Very good.
Do you have a specific template that you use?
I do. I definitely do. And it's actually, I think it's all in that post for you guys. I wrote the whole thing out. You can copy and paste it.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I'm used to big, long spreadsheets, having to go in, put contact info, come up with all this stuff. So, yeah, this is a really good process. So it's good stuff, man. Good stuff.
SpyFu does all that for you too.
SpyFu is good. Yeah. There's definitely.
I didn't know SpyFu does that. I pay for that. I should be using that.
Yeah,
they'll go out and grab the emails and everything.
Yeah, you can find a lot of opportunities through that. We actually had talked to what's his name from SpyFu a few weeks ago.
Michael Roberts.
Yeah, Michael Roberts. Great stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah. So if you're just tuning in, of course, if you've been listening, you listen to Search Talk Live. Hosts Robert O'Haver, Kayla McKelvin. You can get your questions in today for our special guest, Garrett Mehrguth. I hope I pronounced that right.
That was good.
Okay, there we go. From Directive Consulting, talking about a lot of good stuff today. Talking geek, and we're loving it. You can go to Twitter, use hashtag SearchTalkLive. We actually did have a question and come through email. So if you'd like to use email, you can do Caleb at SearchTalkLive or Robert at SearchTalkLive. Once again, we're sponsored by the Robert Palmer family of companies. And we did have a question come through email. It's from Danielle. Thank you for your question, Danielle. She says that she has been posting for her company on sites like medium.com. Does that help in any way from an SEO factor, or should she keep doing that, or is it going to have any benefit at all?
Okay, so I was at CTA conference, Unbounce. Great question, by the way. Unbounce conference, and they had Buffer on there. So Buffer talked about their strategy for Medium. Once again, Buffer has an audience, okay? So let's just be really clear here.
Yeah.
Everything hinges on this. So in my opinion, probably what you're doing isn't worth your time. That's going to be my first opinion. Only because I don't know your whole audience. I don't know everything. But it's hard to get these other channels to go. Like I get the appeal of Medium, right? As its built-in audience. If it goes well on Medium, you get access to a whole new audience. And I love the idea of it, right? I even played with it after hearing Buffer do what they're doing. So Buffer creates personal accounts, and then the personal authors for Buffer's blog have their own Medium accounts, and they don't have a Buffer Medium account. They have author Medium accounts, and then they promote their content that they wrote on the Buffer blog on Medium after. Okay, great approach. I think it's really smart if people actually care about what you're writing in the first place.
Right.
And that's the kicker, I think, is I would rather use that time that you're taking to do a really great job on Medium to write for someone else's blog, once again, where you can get the PR. And I really initially got this from Cyrus Shepard. He used to be the director of SEO at Moz. He's
he's been on the show.
Oh, okay. He's a really great guy. He's been like crazy kind to me and always respond to my emails and give me great feedback. We have a couple of large accounts, and they'll ask me questions that I just don't even quite know. And I'm like, hey, let me go ask some people in my network. And Cyrus has always been super helpful, but he always told me that essentially if you don't have an audience, don't spend all your time trying to create content that no one's going to read.
Right.
Write for the biggest audiences to earn your own.
Amen.
And that made a lot of sense to me, just from a basic sense standpoint. And so that's why I try to write on Moz. That's why I try to be on amazing talk shows like this and other places, is so that one day, maybe a couple years from now, I'll speak at enough places, I'll have been featured in enough places that I'll actually have a readership. And I just don't think you earn that overnight.
Yeah.
Well, for being 25, man, you've got,
yeah, you're killing it so
you
far.
are, man. You're doing great.
Yeah, well, I think that's one of the things a lot of people don't understand.
Thanks,
is that this kind of thing does take time, especially with so much content out there. We are flooded with content every second of every single day. And so it's all about what type of content you're putting out and who's seeing it. But people think kind of that they want to build that authority overnight, and it just doesn't happen. It takes a long time.
Well, yeah, and you're competing in our industry with Moz. Like, if I write on a topic, Moz is written on it. It's not easy to just outrank Moz, WordStream, Ahrefs, Kissmetrics, and all these huge companies with domain authorities of over 80. The same goes in other industries.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you need to barnacle, and then you can earn it over time. As you build your domain authority, each new post becomes exponentially more likely to rank, and then you can be, I think, really successful.
Yeah, absolutely.
And one thing we didn't mention, too, is just like Rand says, 10x content.
10x
the content's got to be good. You can't just throw crap out there.
Yeah, and that's it's a very difficult task to actually understand and find a piece of content. Yeah, it's a hard task. Now, Garrett, one of the platforms that I really like to use, I've used it for myself, and I've used it for a couple of companies that I work for, is that Korra. And I think that if your audience is there, they're asking questions, and you can be a direct reference and provide the resources for them and be a voice on that kind of platform, it's excellent for your company and your brand. Is that something? Do you use any platforms like that, or have you experienced any platforms like that have helped you, or have seen any positive effects from that kind of platform?
That is a great question. So I will say this. Heck yeah. So I have not invested in Korra myself like crazy. So let's just say Ian Lurie, he runs Portent. He is a legend on Korra. I pulled up his profile when he talked right now. He's the most viewed writer on SEO and on-page SEO tools, and 4 more. He has 417,000 answer views, 22,000 this month.
Wow.
You can't tell me that doesn't affect his top-of-level branding and top-of-level content exposure on any new piece he writes for his blog. And he has in his title his position in his company. So I will say consistency is huge. And by the way, he's only answered 728 questions. Now, that might seem like a lot, but it's frankly not.
No.
So if you're consistent on Korra, heck yeah, you can make a huge top-of-funnel brand awareness play for your company. And the same goes with Haro. We use Haro a lot.
Love that.
And so like right now, we have an in-house content marketer whose job is he does 10 Haro pitches a day and I think 10 Korra responses a day with some really great feedback. And the key is not to pitch yourself. On Haro, pitch yourself. But on Korra, I told him it's really basic. Be the best answer to that person's question. And if we have the best piece of content, and you genuinely believe that, plug us. But if we don't, plug the best piece. And be the best answer. And if you do that, allow the actual branding to do its job and don't be self-promotional. And if you do that, I think you can be really successful in Korra.
Man, excellent advice.
Yeah.
I love that because it's all about, like you said, being that valuable resource. Of course, people are they're gonna notice if you keep plugging yourself, and they read your stuff, and it's not the answer to their question. They want the answer to their question. They want the best answer to that question. And whether you're providing a piece of content that's not your own, you're still being that resource so they know they can come to you to find what they need. And so that's really great. Haro, if you're not using that as a company, you are missing out on several opportunities to build your brand, earn links and stuff like that. I check that thing every single day. I love it. I found so many opportunities from it. It's great. So that's definitely something that can be huge in your strategy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can't pitch that one enough. It's been huge. I think I don't know if I've done a post. I should do a post on it with our template and our scripts and some of the success rate, but I think we're on like a 25% success rate.
Wow.
Regardless. I
That's
pitched
big.
everything on there.
Yeah.
So, there was some finance blog and it was like, what's creative ways you can fix a table? And I was like, use a penny. It's a domain authority of 85. And then I give them a suggested URL and I think I got it to go to my SEO services page. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, you can answer almost anything, right? You just have to be the best answer to someone's question.
Yeah.
It's really simple.
Absolutely. I've even found gotten guest posting opportunities from that. They like my answers so much they want me to expand on it in my own post on their website. And so
we just did that last week.
Yeah.
Yep. No, that's exactly it, Caleb. It's a huge tactic. It's a huge opportunity.
Yeah. It's great stuff. I love it.
Those of you just tuning in, you're wondering why we're talking content marketing. It is a huge part of link building. So that's just want to connect that for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's got to be a big part of your strategy, even if you don't think it's something that you should invest in.
Yeah.
I think there's still opportunities there, and a lot of people think, well, it won't make sense for my company. I don't think I can do anything. Have you come across, as far as your company, come across clients who don't think that can be something that would benefit them?
Yeah, no, I find that all the time. I find it all the time.
Yeah.
So, here's the down and dirty. People don't want to pay what it actually costs.
Right.
There it is.
Yeah.
We aren't even able to charge what it actually costs to do it really well a lot of times, to be completely honest. If I did, I wouldn't get the job.
Oh, yeah. I totally agree with you.
Like, for example, my blog, I pay $800 for a guest post. That's an actual fact. I pay $800 for a guest post. To have a real writer who knows the industry create the piece, and it's amazing, and I gate it, and I try to promote it. But that's the actual number I pay.
Yeah.
And I want to tell that number to everyone so it puts context into what a great writer actually wants. Because a great writer doesn't want to make $10 an hour. They have a lot of domain expertise, and they're going to probably take 10 hours to do a piece. And they want to make around probably $80 an hour. Well, there you go. That's $800. It's just the reality of some amazing. If you want amazing content, now could you get it for cheaper? I'm sure you could. We have ways to do it, and we'll use Freelancer, or we'll go to for us, we go to the local university. Here's a great tip, by the way, for people who don't want to pay $800.
Yeah.
Go to your local university. Go to the writing center. Find the students that work at the writing center. Those are the most professional and often the most talented, and then hire them to work on your project.
That's
a good strategy, especially for startups and stuff. You don't have that big budget.
That's how we built our writer team. So I have about 10, 15 writers actually at the company that come from local universities who work at the writing centers. So it really does work.
I like it. Well, yeah. I think people don't want to invest in it because there's a lot of bad.
It's undervalued.
Well, there's a lot of bad content marketing strategies out there where you put some time and effort into it and you don't see anything coming from it, whether the content's not good or when they get to your website, you don't have any call to action or anything to gather their information or drive them to anything else. And so people think, well, why invest in that when I can just do some paid advertising and stuff like that? So I think they kind of lose interest in it because they don't see an ROI from it when they're actually an effective one. There's a strategy put in place on every step of the way. There's going to be a lot of return.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Garrett,
I did the same thing. I paid a bunch of money for blog posts, but I didn't have a way to monetize it, so I stopped doing it. Now, if I pay for something, I gate it. So if any piece of content I pay for, I always gate it to make sure I can get the return.
Yeah.
I had a question here. They want to know, how often should they post?
As often as you can be exceptional. So if you can create an amazing piece of content, do one every day. If you can only do one a month, only do one a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good answer.
No, I like it. Because a lot of people, I think a lot of people have that question: is how often should I be posting, on my own blog? And I think you're definitely right. Is if you're gonna write, try to spit out 2 to 3 a day, but they're, frankly, crap. Then you're wasting
quality
time.
Over quantity.
Yeah.
Well, Brian Dean is absolutely murdering it. He does one piece a month. So.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So Backlinko does one piece a month, and absolutely just killing it. And he promotes it. Because here's the thing. If you're going to, I don't understand what happens, but this is the mix of people who create content, myself included, and I don't know why I'm guilty of this as well, is we spend, I'd say, 5% planning. We spend 94% writing, and then we spend 1% promoting. And I think it should probably be more like 50% planning, 25% or 25% planning, 25% writing, and 50% promoting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, we rush the strategy and we go on to the next one before we ever promoted the last one, and you just ruin the whole process because you don't ever monetize your stuff because you never take enough time to get the eyes out there.
Yeah.
And once you find that strategy that works, then you just repeat that.
Yeah.
Yeah, rinse, wash, repeat. Exactly.
Yeah, I try to tell people it's not the field of dreams. If you build it, they're not just going to come. Like you have to have that. You have to have that amplification strategy, is what I like to call it. Is okay. You're building this piece of content with a purpose for a specific audience, and now you have to understand how you're going to get it to them and get the right eyes on it. And I think that's where a lot of people fall short.
Yeah,
you're spot on, man.
I'd like to add, too, that this works on any industry. It doesn't matter what you're in. And like you were talking about earlier with videos, it doesn't matter if you're a plumber. Do how-to videos. Do something like that. That's content. That's stuff that brings people that want to learn what you got.
Oh, yeah, we put a video on a plumber's homepage, and he ranks #1 for plumber in his city. Real, truth. Search
Nice.
Dana Point plumber. Look at the homepage. It's brutal. It's terrible. He's got this video that's probably average at best, but it's transparent. It helps you buy, you could film it on an iPhone 6, your video as a plumber, and it will be better than you not having a video because who the hell expects a plumber to be good at video?
Yeah.
Just be honest. Nobody's expecting that the plumber has great video. They just want to know if you're honest.
Yeah.
And it comes across more personal, too, if it's not, done in a big studio.
Exactly. I think video is huge.
Yeah.
I think decent video is better than no video. I'm not going to say bad video is better than no video, but I think decent video is better than no video.
Yeah. Well, I think decent video works is because we're kind of used to it through Facebook and stuff like that. People are selfie videoing themselves all the time. And, we're not entertained. Of course, we love the high, impact movie style videos, but we're also used to raw footage. And it's very personalized. And I think it's something that people enjoy because they can relate to it and they kind of feel connected to you when they see it kind of raw like that.
Yeah. I gave that advice to a plumber in the UK, and it's helped him quite a bit. So I mean,
Yeah. I hate
works.
that we always use plumbers as the analogy.
No, but it actually was a plumber.
Of people that like have it the hardest when it comes to content marketing. It's like, hey, you can still do it, plumbers. Get out there and go. We always say, oh, they have it the worst, but we always pick on them. So sorry for all you plumbers out there.
Yeah. But Garrett, we are out of time, man. We got 5 minutes left in the show. I do want to thank you for coming on and sharing your tips and advice and all that. It's great for our listeners. And maybe we can have you back sometime.
Hey, I'm all game, guys. You let me know. Let's hop on. So you guys are awesome. I really appreciate it. So thanks for having me on here.
Yeah, if people want to reach you, where can they reach you?
You can
Twitter
hit me up on Twitter. I'm always on Twitter. It's at @Mehrguth, so at GMEHRGUTH.
Okay.
And if you're ever interested in, am I allowed to do a shameless plug right here?
Go ahead, man.
Okay, plug away. Got it. If you're ever interested in any type of SEO, PPC content, social, from strategy to execution, we kind of do it all. We do free search assessments, so we'll dive into your whole campaign and build out a strategy. As long as we think we're qualified to both be a good fit for each other, we'll dive in, and then hopefully you talk to a couple other agencies as well, compare us, and if you like us better than everyone else, then hopefully you go with us. So yeah, it's Directive Consulting. And yeah, just feel free to give us a ring, fill out the form, whatever you want to do.
Where are you located?
We're here in Irvine, California, so
Okay.
kind of in Orange County.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Garrett.
Absolutely, man. We appreciate
Thanks,
it.
guys. Appreciate it. Have a great day.
Yeah, thank
Too.
you. Thank you for listening to the show, guys. I want to remind you to go to Search Talk Live, listen to some previous shows that we've had. Lots of amazing guests with just tons
Great
of
stuff.
information. We have... what else we got?
You'll be able to listen to today's show. If you missed any part of today's show, of course, we go off air at 4:30. After that, it'll load up to our previous show's page. Listen to today's show. A lot of great content. We appreciate Garrett joining us. A lot of good stuff as far as content marketing goes and everything like that. So, yeah, and also sign up for the newsletter. I know we say that all the time, but go and sign up for the newsletter. We've had free giveaways. We've had books given away, resources, a lot of awesome stuff.
Discounts, SMX, all kinds of stuff.
Free months of services and everything like that. Go check it out. A lot of good stuff. And, of course, you can learn more about Robert and myself on there if you would like to. I think we're pretty cool guys. Anyways, but you can listen to us on Spreaker, download us on iTunes, iHeartRadio, of course, SoundCloud. If you feel like listening to us 24 hours out of your day, go to iHeartRadio and check it out because we play nonstop.
And that's only in the U.S., though.
Only in the U.S.,
Yeah,
yes.
I don't understand why they blocked that.
Yeah, which is crazy because we actually have
they could have more listeners.
We actually have a lot of listeners that are outside of the country,
which
we appreciate are a lot in the UK and everything
popular.
like that.
Australia.
So we appreciate y'all listening. Very cool.
Yeah. So also, I wanted to add is if you're interested in, we have a very targeted audience. If you're interested in advertising with us or becoming a sponsor, so to speak, you can hit us up on the email, Robert at Search Talk Live or Caleb McKelvin, or Caleb, sorry, at Search Talk Live.
Yeah.
You know what I meant. But and there's also information on advertising on our website, so you can check that out. Let's see. Who do we have on next week? We have somebody from Microsoft on next week.
Ooh, yes, we do. Perna Vergi.
I'm glad I was going to let you do that.
Vergi. Man, I hope we're saying that right. We have a tongue twister, it seems like, every week here on Search Talk Live.
Yeah.
So we sincerely apologize if we butcher your name.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. But yes.
She's a senior Bing ad client development and training specialist at Microsoft.
Yes. So that'll be a very cool show.
Yeah, good information. More stuff on PPC.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening to the show. We will see you next week. How much time we got? 1 minute.
Oh,
okay.
yeah, 1 minute.
Well, keep going. What else?
Yeah, our director Dave over there managing the board. Let us know how much time we have left.
Yeah.
But yes, make sure you join us every Tuesday at 3:30 Eastern Standard Time. A lot of cool shows going on. And be sure to hop on Twitter during the show, even during the week if you want to. Use hashtag Search Talk Live, and you can ask either us questions or our upcoming guest questions.
Yep.
We always love questions. hopefully we have the answer for you. If not, our guest will. And if we can't get it for you, I'll promise you we will go to the ends of the earth to find the answer to your question.
Yep, we'll be tweeting the show out in just a few minutes here as soon as the show's over. And we'll see you guys next week.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Search Talk Live is a presentation of the Robert Palmer family of companies.